Hello everyone. So today we will be preparing a tax return from source documents all the way to a prepared return using TaxGPT Copilot. So how do you get started? You can come here and ask for process all the documents and create a full tax return from these files to these source files. Hit into it, throw connect, and I can upload these files here, and the agent is off to the races. So agent read through all of these files. It's already thinking. So what it is the agent is doing right now, it is creating a plan, how it's going to do all of that. The agent is going to go and ask TaxGPT to gather through some of this information, and eventually it's going to pull up Intuit Pro Connect and it's going to go there. So we're just going to watch agent doing its thing. As you can see that it created a plan in that folder. Now it is creating the task list, what it needs to do. So the agent got all the data, it read through all the information. By the way, meanwhile, the agent is doing the calculation. What you can also do is you can stop agent here, and you can also queue up the task. For example, I can say skip to calculations and go ahead and start filing with Pro Connect. And it can get into the schedule task, but I can just go ahead and execute this right now. There you go. It knows where it needs to get me to, and it pulled up the browser. So let me log in here. You can pause here. I will come back when I'm logged in. So I'm about to log in. Now I'm logged in, and so it's asking me if I can say log. Please go ahead with the prep process. There you go. So my hands are here. By the way, this agent is now navigating the browser. This is so cool. It always gets me. So it found the client ID, and now it's going to keep doing its thing. We are going to speed up this process. Seeing side by side, you can see the agent is working side by side in Pro Connect. We're going to speed up this process and we'll show you end result in a bit. And with that, it just finished preparing this return, and with this source documents, it's created a fully prepared return from Pro Connect, and it is ready for the review. It's still updating the task list, and it is finalizing everything that it has done, and it's already opened up this, and it's done. So that's how you do tax preparation with Copilot. Thank you.
Today we're going to be taking a look at TaxGPT CoWorks workflows for 1065 partner K1 extractions. First thing you're going to do is you're going to click on all workflows. You're going to go to tax prep and compliance, and then you're going to click on the 1065 K1 extraction and partner decision memo. where you will see it will populate the prompt in there for you. Now we're swapping over to one that we ran, and what you can understand is this is 4 partnership tax forms. There's a German investor with a $2.4 million tax deferral coming due, a university endowment that owns part of a public partnership, a Texas LLC member with self-employment income, an oil and gas investor, and reviewing each one of these properly would take a senior partner 3 to 4 hours. Now let's watch what TaxGPT delivers in minutes and show how it works. Now you'll notice that what's happened here is it's begun working and the progress bar is showing you what it is working on. As you've got the working folder where those files were that I had shown, and you begin to see TaxGPT working through the process and thinking. Now, what's really important is to notice this sentence right here. It says, I need to halt and reread the 3 earlier PDFs. Those tool outputs were cleared from context, and I was working from inference rather than extracted data rereading now. So first of all, discipline. Most AI tools plow ahead and hope. What TaxGPT does was work through the documents, noticed it had lost track of what it had read, stopped itself, and reread everything. That's the kind of self-check a partner wants to see to trust AI output. Scrolling down a little bit further, you can see down here in its thinking one of the things that came up here was about a deferral eligibility requiring additional or original gain to be effectively connected to income, some other information here that basically just says, hey, this is a partner level question that's worth flagging. And what you're going to notice is that this is actually going to pull into the partner memos. So the German investor back in 2021 had sold some startup stock and used a tax break to defer $2.4 million of gain. And that deferral comes due at the end of next year. Every tax tool flags that. But TaxGPT goes further. It asks something that nobody else asks. Was he even allowed to make that move in the first place? The tax break requires the original gain to have been taxable in the US. A German citizen selling US startup stock probably wasn't. So if the original move was wrong, this isn't a planning problem for next year. It's a $2.4 million audit exposure on a 4-year-old return. And so that's the kind of TaxGPT thinking that like a partner would in surfacing this. Now, from here, let's go into the partner memos that were delivered as part of the deliverables. You'll notice here on the Strasburger Riverwood, then what we've got is the thinking lands in this document. Right here, the partner sees it laid out plainly. Was the deferral valid? Is the 2021 return still open to audit? Which regulation? And what's the next step? Nobody had to hunt for any of this. TaxGPT put it on the page. Let's look at another example. So if you come down here under self-employment tax, you'll notice this is a different document. There's a Texas LLC. 4 months ago, a court ruling changed how the self-employment tax works for people in this exact situation. This partner might be able to get money back from prior years. TaxGPT found the case, recognized this partner fits, and flagged the refund. 4 months from a court ruling to a surfaced action item on the right person in the right state. Let's go to the next one. On this one, you can see a third document. There's an oil and gas investor. And most tax pros assume this kind of income avoids the 3.8% investment surtax. But you can see here in the NID analysis that the tax law actually says no. If you hold the investment through a limited partnership, the client does in this case. So TaxGPT walks through the chain, calculates the dollars at stake, and flags the one question the partner needs to ask the client to nail down the answer. Now, if we look at the last one, we see this is on each one of the partner memos, but the open conflict summary. This is across all 4 documents. There were 27 items that the partner needs to look at, ranked by dollar amount, every one tied to the law. 16 hours of partner work that were delivered in minutes, with catches the partner actually wants to see. This is partner level work at AI speed. And of course, there's the extracted Excel files with all of the information as needed.